Model Context Protocol MCP development. Development of MCP has become popular these days. The popularity of MCP is mainly due to development of AI agents. Yes, we want to use AI systems or AI agents to do our job, to automate our tasks. But at the same time, businesses don't want to share their private information or their proprietary information to a public cloud or a public AI system. This is where MCP comes into place. There are already existing open source standards, tools, MCPs available. In this example today, what we are going to look is, let's say, in an organization, in a company, they have the customer's purchase information stored in a private Google Sheet, which is maintained by them. And they want to contact this Google Sheet to obtain the purchase history of the customer. Once you obtain the history of the customer, and then you figure out what type of items the customer is purchasing, then we feed this information into an AI system. Let's say you call ChatGPT, you call Gemini, or whatever, right, to get an answer based on this user's information. So the point is, you want to collect information about a specific customer and pass that information into AI on a dynamic nature so that you can provide personalized results. You can obtain personalized results from the AI system. So let's see how to do this. This is our requirement. Let's see how to do this. Number one step, you got to have your Google Sheet. To use your Google Sheet, to access your Google Sheet, we need to do what is called as Google Service account. So let me show you how to do a Google Service account. Right? You go into the service account using your Google email, Gmail, and then go into service accounts. In here, first thing to do is to create a new project. Right? You create a new project, and the new project is something, you just name it. You can name anything. Okay, just give a name. It should be unique. Just give a name which is reasonable, and then you don't need to connect to any organization. So once you create, let's say you have created here. In this example, I'm going to use what is called as CBB Access Google Sheet. You can give any name here. So once you have it, the next step is to click on Create Service Account. And you provide the name of your account. So let's say I'm going to say admin, for example, right? Provide some name here, some name which you could understand carefully. So it's going to generate an email address for you. You don't need to do anything for the permissions. You don't need to do anything for the principals with access. You can just click done. Once you have done, you will come up with something like this. You will be given an email address which you need to use to give access to your Google Sheet. So copy this email address here. Go back to your Google Sheet. So this is my Google Sheet in which I have full name, phone number. Look, all these numbers are random, so don't worry. And this is the address, this is the location pin or URL, then items bought by the respective customer, total amount, and then timestamp and so on. So you can have all this. Very important step to do is to share this Google Sheet. Click on share, and please add the email address you got from the previous screen, and you provide access. You want to give viewer access, you want to give editor access. Accordingly, you can provide access here. So this is important. Otherwise, your MCP will not be able to access this Google Sheet. So that is important. So you have created a service account. You have created a project. Inside that, you have created a service account. So once the service account is created, go to the actions, click on this and say manage keys. Okay. So here you can create a new key here, right? In my case, I have a key, but you can create a new key. Click this, click new key here. So once you click a new key, it is going to download a file in a specific format. We are going to use a JSON format. Okay. JSON format, click create. It will immediately download a file for you, and will also create the key here. So you will see it will create a file Please note that this file should be private. Don't share this file through GitHub or other resources. Okay, so that's the step you got to do, right? You just have one key and you have that file here, right? These are the steps you got to do in terms of the Google Sheets. So you have done the project, you have done the create account, you also manage the keys, you also done the Google Sheet. Okay, you have given permission to access the Google Sheet for the email address which it has created. Next step, I'm going to do MCP. I'm going to deploy an MCP. The question is, where would I deploy an MCP? Where do I store my MCP? So in order to store my MCP, I'm going to store it using GitHub. So here is my repository. You can create a new repository. If you want to create something new, you can do that. Just give a name. It should be a unique name here. You create one, you can provide some description if you want. All others you can leave it as it is and click create repository. So in my case, I have created this repository here, the first one here. So once you have created, this is an empty repository. It has nothing inside. At the initial stage, it will be empty. It has nothing inside. So how do I write my code for MCP here? Right? How do I write my code? So I go to GitHub. I've done this. Now I'm going to write an MCP code. So what you can do, you can download my code here, right? Or you can go and download a previous code of mine, a simpler version. Just go into repositories. I'll provide all this link in the description of my YouTube video. You can take this, right? Go here. You can use this code, right? You can download the code, and then I'm going to use Visual Studio Code. Okay, I'm going to open up my Visual Studio Code now and show you how am I going to work on this. So here is my Visual Studio Code, and I have just gone into File, Open Folder, and please open the respective folder. That's all. I've just opened the respective folder here, and inside I have few files here. I have a file named server.py, and I have a file named .gitignore. We are going to discuss these files right now. You have a file called requirements.txt. And if you remember, we just downloaded a JSON file. That JSON file, I have renamed it as service_account, and then I have put it here. I'm keeping it in the same folder as my server, as my MCP server. Okay, it's here. So these are things you store inside. Now let us understand few things about gitignore. You have to go into gitignore. Please make sure you add this line here, service_account.json. This is important. Otherwise, this file will also be public. Remember, it's a key file. It should be private. We don't want to share it publicly. Okay, so please make sure this is added in your gitignore file. Then move into requirements file. These are the respective Python libraries you need for your application to run. So if you see any libraries missing, you can add it here. Then go in. This is my server.py. This is my MCP file. Before explaining to you about MCP file, I'm going to give you a few important things which will be useful for you. In the VSC code, I also have an AI support for me. Okay, I can go here, I can type in what I want, it's going to give me what to do. I can follow it up. These things you can use it using extensions. Go into extensions, right? You can get in many of these extensions which you need, right? One of the common extensions which you need is a GitHub connector. So if you write here git, okay, you might find an extension. It might take some time, depends upon your internet. Okay, you will download the git extensions and so on, right? You can do that. So let's move across this file now. Okay, I'm going to discuss this. So I have this file here. What is the first step I should do? Right, step one, I'm going to connect this to my GitHub. How do I do it? Okay, so before connecting to GitHub, I want to make sure I'm using a virtual environment. Okay, I'm using a virtual environment so that I can make things easier here. Okay, so that I don't miss or I don't have libraries which are used by different programs. There might be different versions. I don't want to have version conflicts. So step one, you're going to create a virtual environment here. These are steps to follow to create virtual environment in Python. So let's assume if you don't know, you can just go here and say, how could I create a virtual environment? Okay, you can type like this. So it's going to reason it up. It's going to give me some answers. If you already know, you could create it here. So I have created a virtual environment here. I'm activating it. How do I activate? You'll just say .env/script/activate. Okay. So if you do this, it will activate it for you. So I'm now inside the .env folder, venv folder. You can see it here. Then if I want to install all the necessary, so it has given you the steps. Step 1 is this. You can follow this step. And the next step is this. This is what I did now. You can just click on this. It will copy. You can right click. It will paste for you. Okay. And the very next step. Once I'm done, I'm going to install the dependencies. Remember, these are my dependencies. So I'm going to copy this one and right click here and then press enter. It's going to take some time to install all the dependencies here. Once it is done, you will not have any issues in your code. All the necessary libraries are already installed. Okay, that is done. That's all done right now. What is the next step? I have told you we have my GitHub, but my GitHub is not connected. So how do I connect to my GitHub? How do I synchronize my GitHub to this VSC, Visual Studio Code? These are the steps to follow. You will say git init, then git add space dot, which means all the files there, git commit -m, and you can write a comment here. You can say initial commit, or you say my first time I'm committing, whatever. And this is the next important command you need to do. Git remote add origin, and this is the git name I need to get. How do I get it? I just go to my website here, right here. So here is my git, right? So go back. I'm actually using this one. Okay, let's click this. And you can just go here and copy this one here. This is the name of that. This is the URL. Okay, copy it here. Go back to your Visual Studio Code. And then you're going to type this command here. The one I just showed you. Git remote add. So you will say git remote add origin. Okay, origin. And then the name here. Okay, the whole path here, URL here. So once you press enter, you are connected. You will be synchronized, but the files are not pushed yet. Okay, so then you issue this command git push -u origin main. Sometimes you might get an error that there is no main branch existing in your git, in your GitHub. If it is not there, you have to issue one more command. That command is this: git branch -M main. You do this, it will create a main branch in your Git repository, and then you can start pushing up. So let's assume I have modified some of my files. Let's say I go to my VSC, I modified something here. What should I do next? If I have modified anything, the steps I got to follow are this. Git add dot means if I modified many files. If I have modified only one specific file, I can specify the name of the file here. Git add server.py if this is the only file I have modified, and then I can say a commit. This is a commit message. You can put a message, whatever you want to make it clear. It's very important to give a message which is clear to you so that you can follow in the future. You can see what changes you have made. And git push, it will push the file to the git. So that's it. Your file from your local computer will be now available on the git. Okay, so if I go into my git, all my files are here. Okay, this is here. You can modify, and you can see this is the same file. If I click this, you will see this is the same file which you see in my laptop in the VSC. Correct, the same file. Alright, I'm not going to explain this code. I'll come back to it at the end, but let's follow through the process. Okay, how did I create this code? I just used ChatGPT to generate for me. Let me go to that at the end. Right, let me continue the process so that you will see how MCP is created and how MCP can be used. So now that my GitHub is ready, my coding is ready. So now I go to render. Create a login. Just create a login with your Gmail, for example. Then you go into your workspace. This is my workspace. Just go into new, say web service. Click on this. Click public Git repository. go back here, just copy this repository here, right, and just come over here and paste it here. Okay, you can paste it here. Now if I say connect, it's going to connect to that repository, bring all the files here. I mean, it is going to bring the things here for deployment purposes. So this is the one which I've just got in. If you can see it's the same name, right? You can go into the environment here, right? Once you have the file here, once from the GitHub, you have got the necessary elements into render, okay, into render. Remember, I'm using a free account. I have not paid anything for all the services I have shown to you until now, right? So here is a render, which is the same service is brought here. Important now. Remember, you did download a service_account.json file, the one I showed you, which is in my laptop, but I did not upload it in my GitHub. I'm going to store it here. Go under secret files, type the name here, and click this and paste the actual content inside. Being a private file, I'm not showing you, but just click this and you can put it there. Okay, just paste the contents there, right? Once you have done, so you have given the necessary secret files. The files are ready. You click this and you would say deploy lost commit. Automatically, the server is now deployed. So from the GitHub, it is deployed under render. So if I go into my logs, you can see your logs. Okay. So you can see your logs to know what happened. It will show you whether it has deployed, whether it faced any error, all these things you can see here. Okay. So you will see it will run. It will take some time to do this because it has to install all the necessary libraries here. Python libraries will be installed. Then you will start running the Python server.py, which is the server.py is your program for MCP server. And it will find a free port. It will start running it for you. Okay. This is what it will do. Now if I want to test this, how do I test my MCP server? To do this, we use a tool called Postman. You can use it on the browser. You can launch it on the browser, or you can download it. You can download it in your computer. You can use it like this. So this is my Postman. This is my Postman. So what I do here, I'm going to type in, this is the URL which I got from my render. So if I go into render, okay, in my render, if I go into my dashboard, okay, so this is my project, right? So this is the actual URL here. You can copy this here, okay, copy. It might be different in your case. So just copy that name and come over to Postman here, paste it here. And then this is something which is coming from the code. Okay. So this is something inside the code. I've added these things here and I'm choosing post. So let me go back to the code to show you why I'm using API/customer/pattern. Okay. I'm going here. Let me just open the code here in the GitHub. Right. So if I go all the way down, right, you will find there is this one here, MCP custom roots and API customer pattern. So this is what I need, and I need to invoke it using post. Some people would say, why do I use MCP custom root? I could have used the MCP tool. Yes, you can do that also. But in certain chatbot systems, text/stream kind of data transfer is not allowed. It doesn't work. So you got to find a root cause here. You are finding a different root using JSON. Okay. So just remember this API customer pattern. So I'm going to go back to my Postman. I've given the path to my render and then I just give this. Now I need to choose here post because it's a post request. And then if you go in under header, I need to say content type. These ones you need to type. Okay, like this. See, you type and then you select the respective one. So content type, and I say application just JSON. Same here. You can type, it will come. You can choose, right? Also accept is application JSON. These things has to be done. Then go to the body. In the body, I need to provide 3 elements here. Okay. So I need to say spreadsheet ID, worksheet name, customer name. So I'm just writing customer name is John, spreadsheet name is this, and ID. How do I get this? If you go to my Google Sheet, the one after the D here, this one here is my ID for my Google Sheet. Okay. So you just need to provide that here, right? So you just need to copy and paste it here. And then worksheet name, this is purchases, so I'm using that name. I'm searching for a customer named John, right? If I click this request is going to go to my server. Okay, how do I know it's calling my server? You can go into render, right? Go to your logs, see if you have any recent logs right now, right? Because I'm using a free version, you can understand your free instance will spin down with an inactivity which can delay sometimes because it was inactive, right? I didn't connect to it for some time, so it was off. Now it is starting again, so it might take some time for the first instance to connect. Okay, if it's a paid version you won't have these issues, but other than that it's fine. It's just taking few extra seconds of your time, right? So it's now running my python server.py. You'll get the answer here, right? So it went in and it's giving me answers, what the person has bought, what is his frequent purchase. It's all coming from here. So this is from John here. So let's imagine I write here, instead of John I will go here and say Ramesh, for example. Okay, click it. So now this time it's going to access from Ramesh. There are 2 records, so it's going to get those records here. Records analyzed is 2, and you will see all the details here. So this is based on your code. Whatever you have done in your MCP server, it will give you answers like this. So now that we have seen the complete cycle, we have created the code, we uploaded it into GitHub, we also rendered it in render, we have done it in a Postman to access it. Okay, all this can be done here. Right, let me go back to the slide. So we have done all this right now, right? So render, and you got to do it here, and I've shown you the steps which are mentioned here, just shown there. Now let us go back and have a quick look at the code itself. How did I make this code? So those who don't want to understand the code but just want to use the code, you can go and get it from my GitHub, which I will share it in the description below. Other than that, if you want to understand the code, what I did is I just used ChatGPT. I asked it to design for me a MCP server. I did a simple one first to test. Okay, it's using FastMCP. It imports the necessary libraries and then FastMCP. Remember, MCP has a tool. So this is the tool. So you have to use @mcp.tool first, and then this is one of the methods. This is the second method here. You can see get weather is the second method. So I have mentioned all these methods here. Okay, this is just generated by ChatGPT. And then here is the point here. This is because I need to call HTTP streamable. I'm just saying mcp.run transport equal to this, and that's it. This is my MCP. So here is the file you can see here. So I'm having all those necessary libraries here. FastMCP, this is the service account.json, which is a private key file. So you are able to get the data from the Google Sheet. Okay, connecting to it, get the data. This is the recommended items. You can change this as per your needs. And analyzing the customer pattern, you want to see each customer based on the request you are making. If it is for John, if it is for Ramesh or whomever, accordingly we want to see what they have purchased, how many items they have purchased. You will infer all those details here. Okay, so you can see get customer purchase pattern. It's actually calling the analyze customer pattern, which is this one here. Okay, analyze the customer pattern. So once you analyze it, then you also have this API customer pattern. This is what we called just now. So it is actually accessing the, you are getting the spreadsheet ID, worksheet name, customer name, and then you are now going to call. Okay, if it is wrong, you leave it. Analyze the customer pattern, you get it, and from there you get an answer from the system. That's it. So this is the actual code which is running here. You can modify to the level you want. You can also modify your Google Sheet. Please make sure you authorize Google Sheet to be used by the respective service. That's all. We will share the code in the description. Thank you.